Top cancer researchers in the country just called the gut microbiome a moonshot moment in cancer prevention. So, why isn't your doctor talking about it? That's exactly what we're talking about today. Hey guys, welcome back to Finding Freedom here on the Lions of Liberty Podcast Network. Great to have you with me today. I'm excited for today's show. It's going to be a solo show, going to be talking about a topic that is very important to me, gut health, and how gut health impacts cancer, which is cancer. I think everyone has been touched by that as well. Before we get into the meat of today's show, though, I want to talk about friend of the show, sponsor of the show, Jason Gagne and his Good to Go Body program. One important way to boost your gut health and to potentially prevent cancer is movement. And Jason's program is perfect, a perfect way to get started with movement, push ups, squats, burpees, sit ups, flexibility. Great at building that foundation to build from there and to get in great shape. You can order his 90-day program through the link in the description, wherever you're watching this or listening to it. And you can save $100 by using the link, which is a lot of money. So go check that out. It's really good stuff. And Jason is a great teacher and a great person. So let's get into today's show. Don't want to waste time today. Like I said, solo show, important topic. Let's get to it. So when most people think about the gut, when they think about gut health, they think about digestion. They think about maybe digestive issues, constipation, diarrhea, things like that, bloating. But the gut impacts a lot more than that. And there is a mounting body of research that tells a much more sinister, a much darker story. And scientists are now linking poor gut health directly to cancer development, not just colon cancer, but breast cancer, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, and even brain tumors. And just this past month, some of the top cancer researchers across the country gathered for what they called a moonshot moment around the gut microbiome. And today we're going to break down what the science actually says and what you can do about it and how you can use that science and this knowledge to improve your life and to prevent and to potentially prevent dealing with cancer in your life. So, what is the gut microbiome? I won't spend a lot of time on this. I think most people understand the gut better today than they did even 5 or for sure 10 years ago. The gut is home to trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses. This is collectively called the gut microbiome. It accounts for 70% of your immune cells. A lot of people don't know that. And when the gut microbiome is balanced, it regulates your immune function. It produces protective compounds and also, very importantly, keeps your inflammation in check. When it's out of balance, a state called dysbiosis, everything downstream of it breaks down. So the immune system and the gut microbiome interact to maintain this homeostasis. And alterations, external or internal alterations, environmental alterations potentially in the gut microbiome composition lead to immune dysregulation, promoting chronic inflammation and development of tumors. So most of you have probably heard of leaky gut before, but maybe you don't know exactly what it means. So dysbiosis contributes to the breakdown in the intestinal barrier in the gut. And this is what is often referred to as leaky gut, when things going through the intestines are leaking out. This is caused by reducing the expression of tight junction proteins, which increases gut permeability. This breakdown allows microbial components such as lipopolysaccharides to enter the bloodstream. This triggers systemic inflammation. And this systemic inflammation is where cancer can get a foothold. So the aberrant activation of the NFKB signaling pathway. We're not going to. This isn't going to be super into the science details here. Just to lay out exactly what the science says. We're not going to be talking at a super high level throughout this entire podcast. I'll try to make this very relatable. But so this NFKB signaling pathway, in response to the microbial imbalance, has been linked to tumor promoting inflammation in several cancers, particularly colorectal cancer. Pro inflammatory cytokines released in this context can reshape the tumor microenvironment, encouraging both tumor initiation and metastasis. It doesn't stop as the gut, okay? Bacteria can migrate from the gut to the pancreas, and researchers found that fungi present at 3,000 times higher numbers in cancerous pancreatic tissue compared to healthy pancreas tissue. Evidence has also linked gut dysbiosis with lung cancer through the gut lung axis. So, what is this moonshot moment that we're talking about that scientists are focusing on right now? So, this gut cancer relationship is not fringe science anymore. And I'm not going to say that you'll hear about it if you were to go to your doctor tomorrow. It does unfortunately take a lot more time to make its way into the medical literature, and then, of course, the patient doctor relationship from there. But we can kind of break through that timeline these days with podcasts and different types of media to get information right to you. So the A City of Hope scientific symposium brought together preeminent scientists and federal health officials to discuss this significant and far-reaching role of the gut microbiome and how it plays into cancer prevention and treatment. So by the end of the symposium, the microbiome was being discussed not simply as a research topic, but as one of the next major priorities, as a way to utilize it in preventing cancer and in cancer treatment and cancer care. RFK Jr., of course, the U.S. Health Secretary, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, stated that he wants an open door so that we understand much more about the microbiome in 3 years than we have understood in all of the years leading up to now. He said, I want to make it a moonshot. And a recent publication by the American Society of Clinical Oncology lists nearly 100 recent and ongoing studies that test various ways to manipulate the gut microbiome to help to treat cancer. Now, the microbiome appears to be especially critical when it comes to immunotherapy, which relies on medications that manipulate the body's own immune system to better attack cancer. And a kidney cancer patient is about to become the first participant in this first late phase trial testing of probiotics as a way to amplify cancer treatment. So used in addition to current cancer treatments. All right. So which cancers are most linked to gut health? Colorectal cancer, which we talked about, that is the most direct link. Clinical research has provided strong evidence of a correlation between gut dysbiosis and colorectal cancer development, with major metabolic changes, including increased glycolysis, fatty acid production, and glutaminolysis. Breast cancer. The gut and reproductive tract microbiomes regulate estrogen and other hormones critical to breast cancer risk and progression. Dysbiosis promotes inflammation and tumor growth, while healthy microbes may offer protective effects. Also, pancreatic and liver cancer. So, chronic exposure to bacterial endotoxins from a leaky gut have been linked to liver inflammation and hepatocellular carcinoma, as well as inflammatory driven cancers in other tissues. And lastly, brain tumors. This is for the first time, research has found that six gut microbiota species are associated with the risk of brain tumors, which provides a new perspective for early brain tumor prevention and treatment. So, what is destroying gut health for many people? Because I think most people have at least some level of gut dysbiosis, and it presents in different ways with different symptoms. Not everyone is going to get cancer, so not to scare everyone, but a lot of these factors, to different degrees, I think many of us um, have issues that drive a lot of these factors. So when you look at what destroys your gut health, ultra processed foods. Ultra processed foods make up 60% of the average American's diet. That's a major problem for gut health and for the microbiome. Alcohol. Now, alcohol consumption is going down across the board, especially with young people, which I think is a good thing. But alcohol consumption is linked to several cancers, colon cancer, and being one of them. And research is revealing the harmful effects it has on the gut microbiome. More and more research is revealing that. And then lack of dietary fiber. So without fiber, the beneficial bacteria that produce protective compounds are starved out because they consume that fiber. They are fed by that fiber, and that's how they proliferate. And chronic stress is another one. Chronic stress, poor sleep, overuse of antibiotics. These are all disruptors of the gut microbiome and impact the diversity of the gut, which is not a good thing. So the result is a gut that stops protecting you. And when your gut health is waning, when it's not, in a state of when you're in a state of potentially dysbiosis, and you're not in a state of equilibrium. Like with the gut, it's always a battle. You're always, especially today's modern age with environmental toxins and stresses and everything we deal with in this world. It's always a battle. Like I tell people that I work with, that I help out with, their, in order to restore and get their gut health back to a good level. Um, it's never over. Like, it's never like, okay, I fixed my gut health. Now I'm done. Now I can just go back to living however I want to. It's constant. It is a constant battle between the good forces and the bad forces within your gut microbiome. So how do we battle? How do we, give those the good forces in your gut the tools that they need in order to win the battle and keep things in check in the gut? So one thing would be eating more fiber. So there's been some research out of Stanford Medicine that shows that short chain fatty acid metabolites, which are produced from fiber, um, two of those being propionate and butyrate, are unique epigenetic regulatory elements that link diet metabolism and gene expression with direct implications for cancer prevention. So the aim here is to eat whole grains, vegetables, a lot of fruits, mix in some nuts, and yeah, I mean, I would take it easy on the whole grains, but little bit's not going to hurt you. I don't think you need a bowl of cereal every morning. I think that's going to lead you in the in the wrong direction. Um, I think a more important one, or let's say equally important, is adding in fermented foods. So yogurt. I eat yogurt almost every single day. Uh, Kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso. A lot of those, I think it's hard to mix that in every day. That's why I think yogurt is a good one to go with. So these introduce beneficial bacteria directly into the gut. Um, so the MD Anderson Cancer Center recommends prioritizing prebiotic and probiotic foods like onions, garlic, fermented foods to feed the good bacteria in your gut. Um, Another recommendation, eat the rainbow. So you want to eat a wide variety of foods, different colors of food, whole foods, plants, vegetables, proteins, as little ultra processed as possible. You want to move your body. You want to exercise daily, go for walks daily, lift heavy weights. Exercise increases the diversity of your gut microflora and improves gut motility. Cut out the processed foods, avoid alcohol as much as possible. I mean, you got to live your life. You're going to go out to dinner, you're going to, you know, eat with friends and things like that. So you're going to eat some processed foods, you're going to have some alcohol. But if you're having this every single day, you're not going to be able to dig yourself out of that hole. And your gut microbiome is going to suffer for it. Lastly, you want to adopt a good gut protocol, one that weeds, seeds, and feeds your gut. So you want something with good digestive enzymes that are going to break down, things like yeast, also known as candida, overgrowth in your gut, and can eat through that hard outer shell of the candida, and so it can be flushed out. So good cultures in your gut are able to take hold. You want to seed your gut with good probiotics, not the refrigerated ones that you get at the grocery store. Think about this. You get refrigerated probiotics at the grocery store. The refrigerated what? So they stay alive, right? Then you're going to throw them in your mouth and swallow them where they go down in your stomach in your body where they're heated to over, 98 degrees. They're not going to make it to your gut. The vast majority of them are going to die on the way to their destination, so they're never going to achieve what they're meant to achieve. So you want to find a probiotic with a good delivery system. I like the one that I use is freeze dried, so it's activated in the pH of your gut, so all of the cultures make it there. There's a couple other different mechanisms that are also good, but the freeze dried one is awesome. And you also want to feed these good cultures, these good probiotics that are going into your gut. You want to feed them with prebiotics. So the food, the fiber, you need to be using a prebiotic as well, and they all work in tandem to weed, seed, and feed. So you can really give yourself a leg up in winning that battle, that constant battle in the gut microbiome. And so new research is showing that probiotics work best for colon health when paired with prebiotic fiber. So one without the other is like adding fish to a tank, but not adding any water. So I mean, it's important. It's also kind of like if you had a garden and you planted all your vegetables in there, and then you just watered everything. You never went in and pulled out weeds. So those weeds would go in and put roots down, and they would compete for nutrients with your vegetables, and your vegetables would never grow to the level they should. They would never produce the best, most nutritious fruit. Same thing in the gut. So if you don't weed out the bad stuff and you just pour in probiotics, you're not gonna gain a leg up in winning that battle. Okay? All right. So in summary, the research around the microbiome and cancer, it's not ambiguous anymore. Your gut microbiome is either working as your immune system's most powerful ally, or it's the open door that chronic disease is let in. Okay? So the good news is this. Unlike your genetics, which you can't influence, you're kind of just born this way. Of course, there's epigenetics, so you can influence them somewhat. But your microbiome overall is something you can influence right now. Your next meal, you can start to influence it. You can make the decision. Listen to this and make a decision the next time you eat. The next time you're going to drink alcohol, don't do it or drink less. You can make decisions today that cost you nothing, that are going to improve your gut health. Okay. So you want to eat the right things, you want to protect your gut. And if you haven't yet thought about gut health as a cancer prevention strategy before, now is the time to start doing it. And I'll also add this. So I've been helping people with their gut health for more than the past 7 years. I've helped hundreds of people. So if you would like a free 15-minute gut health audit, I'm going to include a link just one time, just for this episode. I'm going to include a link to my calendar. You can go if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any of the podcast apps, should be in the description. Find the link and you can book 15 minutes on my calendar for a free gut health audit. You can talk about kind of the health issues you're running into, what kind of goals you have, and just some things that I would advise that you consider implementing. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. You can click on the link and book that anywhere where you watch and listen to this podcast. Okay. So thanks for listening today. I really do appreciate it. Please do make sure you are subscribed wherever you are watching or listening. Bonus points if you give us a nice rating and review as well. And join us in our patron group, the Pricks, either on Patreon or Locals. We need to bring out some new bonus content. We need to do a Secrets, Lies, and Cover-Ups episode. It's been a while for that. But of course, we have all of our discounts, and you can be a part of the Pricks. And yeah, that's what we got going on. I will see you all next week. In the meantime, keep on moving.